Greetings everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So those who are watching, please make sure that you have made a subscription to this channel. Today's topic is The Way to Wealth, written by Benjamin Franklin. So who is this Benjamin Franklin? He was an American polymath who was active as a writer, scientist, inventor, statesman, diplomat, printer, publisher, and political philosopher. He was indeed one of the founding fathers of the United States, a drafter and signer of the United States Declaration of Independence. Franklin has been called the most accomplished American of his age and the most influential in inventing the type of society America would become. He became a successful newspaper editor and printer in Philadelphia, the leading city in the colonies, publishing the Pennsylvania Gazette at age 23. So he became wealthy publishing this and Poor Richard's Almanac, which he wrote under the pseudonym Richard Saunders. So what is an almanac? It is a collection of facts and statistics that is published yearly. It covers different subjects and it is a record of various astronomical phenomena, often with climate information and seasonal suggestions for farmers and miscellaneous other data. Well, Poor Richard's Almanac. So here we come to know that Richard Saunders is the pseudonym of Benjamin Franklin. And when it comes to Poor Richard's Almanac, Benjamin Franklin began publishing this on December 28, 1732. He went on to publish for around 25 years. And he has created this for the purpose of promoting his printing business. And it was filled with proverbs preaching about industry and prudence, and it was published continuously for 25 years and became one of the most popular publications in colonial America, selling an average of 10,000 copies per year. Well, The Way to Wealth or Father Abraham's Sermon is an essay written by Benjamin Franklin in the year 1758. It is a collection of adages in the sense a proverb or short statement expressing a general truth, and advice presented in Poor Richard's Almanac during its first 25 years of publication. And it was organized into a speech given by Father Abraham to a group of people. Many of the phrases that Father Abraham quotes here continue to be familiar even today. The essay's advice is based on the themes of work ethic and frugality. So, Poor Richard becomes the narrator here and he begins with an address to courteous readers. Poor Richard narrates about a recent encounter with the public at an auction. The people there were complaining about the high taxes. And now the people began questioning Father Abraham, who is a plain, clean old man with white locks. And he was thronged with queries about the high taxes. So now we could see that Father Abraham starts his speech using Poor Richard's sayings, and the narrator, that is Poor Richard, is happy to hear his quotes again. And it contains the well-known sayings that were written and published in Benjamin Franklin's Poor Richard's Almanac over the past 25 years. So, Father Abraham states that taxes are not the real problem. So, he conveys that personal failings are the only reason why most people turn poorer. As Father Abraham states, we are taxed twice as much by our idleness, 3 times as much by our pride, and 4 times as much by our folly. So here, idleness, pride, and folly are our drawbacks, says Father Abraham. And he quotes Poor Richard's again. Lost time is never found again. So he counsels the public to make good use of their time. So here we could see some of the sayings that Poor Richard's quotes on laziness. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So Father Abraham advises people to rise early so that they can become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Plow deep while sluggards sleep, and you shall have corn to sell and to keep. So here again, Father Abraham quotes Poor Richard and encourages the people to seize every opportunity that comes their way and to avoid laziness of all sorts. Little strokes fell great oaks. So here too, Father Abraham conveys a greater message that small efforts can take you towards greater achievements. Sloth, like rust, consumes faster than labor wears, while the used key is always bright. So here again, it is understood that sloth is like rust, as according to Poor Richards, and being active can make your life brighter and successful. So he encourages people to put forth hard work to attain their financial goals. Through these sayings, Poor Richard strikes the importance of daily habits of hard work and diligence. So, time and diligence. I quote, wasting time must be the greatest prodigality. So, Poor Richards highlights the importance of time again to prove that squandering time will lead to failure. So, here Father Abraham is quoting Poor Richards again and again to prove that squandering time will lead to failure. So, sloth makes all things difficult, but industry all easy. Again, a quote or saying from Poor Richard. So, being industrious and diligent can make critical problems easier, whereas sloth or laziness makes everything complicated. Yes, indeed. So, poverty overtakes a lazy man, and God blesses one with everything if he is diligent in his purpose, says Father Abraham as he quotes Poor Richards again. Well, so what do you think about leisure? Your free time, isn't it? So here, according to Father Abraham, even leisure time must be spent usefully, as Poor Richards has suggested that. A life of leisure and a life of laziness are the same. He quotes Poor Richards again, employ thy time well, if thou meanest to gain leisure, and since thou art not sure of a minute, throw not away an hour. So he is indeed advising us not to take much time to spend our time leisurely. So only an industrious and active life gives you comfort, plenty, and respect. So if you want to gain comfort, plentiness, and respect, you have to be industrious and active, and you have to spend even your leisure time actively in something useful. So now comes part 2 of the essay. Don't trust others too much, isn't it? So Father Abraham says that you have to stay steady, settled, and careful, and you have to check your affairs on your own. And he says that Poor Richards have advised us not to trust others too much. So the eye of a master will do more work than the hands, according to Poor Richards. And I quote, not to oversee workmen is to leave them your purse open. And again, I quote, a man's own care is profitable. So here we could see that Poor Richards is advising us not to trust others, and we have to take care of our affairs on our own. So Father Abraham has used lots of sayings from Poor Richards to make us study about these facts. And now comes part 3. So here he talks about frugality. Poor Richard sums up his thoughts on being frugal. So what do you mean by being frugal? Frugal is a quality of being economic or thrifty. And Father Abraham quotes his famous sayings again. Father Abraham counsels the public around him to stop spending money on frivolous things. if you would be wealthy, think of saving as well as getting. So he wanted the public to make sure that saving alone helps us attain the financial goals. He condemns people who waste money on things like fancy clothing or gourmet foods without saving for their families. So, Father Abraham quotes again: what maintains one wife would bring up two children. So, the small expenses that support immoral and unwanted habits can add up and harm a family's ability to survive. Again, fools make feasts and wise men eat them. So, another important saying of Poor Richard's, look at this carefully. Buy what thou hast no need of, and ere long thou shalt sell thy necessaries. So, it means that if you buy things unnecessarily, you would soon be forced to sell things that are indeed very much necessary. Right? So, silks and satins, scarlet and velvets put out the kitchen on fire. So here we could see that through the sayings of Poor Richard's, Father Abraham is again summing up his thoughts on being frugal, or the need of being frugal or economic, right? So, being a debtor. So, what are Father Abraham's views on being a debtor? A debtor is a person who owes money to another person or organization, a creditor. Father Abraham alerts that debtors, in case they are unable to credit back, will end up giving faulty excuses for it. Lying rights in upon debts back. So, poverty and debt can exploit a person's ability to act morally. I quote, it is hard for an empty bag to stand upright. Right? So, a plowman on his legs is better than a gentleman on his knees. So, here you would understand the difficulties of being a debtor. And here, Father Abraham indeed alerts us all of being a debtor. And now comes part 4. So, this is actually the conclusion of the essay. So, industry, frugality, and prudence are excellent. Yes, of course, but they are nothing without the blessings of heaven, confirms Father Abraham, right? So, we have to be humble in seeking blessings and must be charitable too. Father Abraham makes use of Poor Richard's sayings to counsel the public to be consistent in their moral, upright, and frugal habits. At the same time, he acknowledges that people struggle to maintain such habits. The concluding passage humorously hints at the behavior of the public. They immediately thronged into the auction exhibition and started spending lavishly. So, whatever counsel or advice they received from Father Abraham, of course, they listened a lot, but they aren't patient enough to hold on their purse. Now they are readily getting into the auction sale to buy lavishly. So, however, Richard Saunders was glad. Okay, fine. Father Abraham made a complete study of all my almanacs and quoted myself throughout his speech. So, somehow the author was very, very happy. So, here we could understand human frailties, right? So, now I think the end of the session has come. So, hope you all have listened to the video. So, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and do post your queries. And this is Wahida signing off. Thank you.